Alright, sorry about that. This camera's a pain in the ass. Hey, what's up, Jacob? You guys can see me now, right? Anytime I move this camera, its wires are all fidgety. Alright. Trying to get organized here. Forgot it was Friday. Had to see my accountant this morning, get all my taxes ready. Came home, I completely forgot. This it? I think this was it. Yeah. Alright, we're going to experiment with these paints. I did sort of use them already. But I think what I need to do is... This is... These I haven't opened yet, right? This one I did open. She's not that pale, right? She's sort of kind of in between. She's not quite that pale. I've messed with this tan, and this tan actually is tan. So I need to do like a mixture of both of these. So I think we're going to use this pale, but we're going to put a little tan in there. We're going to make up a base color for her. This might actually work out for future paint-ups too. This stuff is almost like the Garage Kits flesh tones, where you can actually sort of sand them down. So it's actually not bad paints. Yeah, see, that almost gives a nice base. I might have to do this more often for other paint-ups. Because they don't have like they have a pale pink and a tan flesh, but they don't have something lighter. So yeah, so far they're like the Garage Kits flesh tones. Like, they dry fairly fast, and you can sort of like sand them down. They're not like rubbery. They sort of have that because Garage Kits was sort of what was it, taxidermy paints, I guess you could call them. So this is sort of like that. Like I said, the only thing is the color is yeah. See, this makes it more of like a little bit more of a flesh color. Whereas it would be too pink and this would be too tan. But mixing these two together sort of gives you that kind of Garage Kits flesh tone almost. Close to it. So I don't know, we're going to experiment. We'll see how it works out. But what I'm going to do is just give it a coat and then see if I find any. I just hate this damn wire system. Hey, what's up, Mimi? How's it going? Well, you know what? I like the Formula P3 paints, and that's what I've been using a lot now, but I'm just kind of experimenting with these a little bit more. So I did clean out my airbrushes, so see, it goes on like Garage Kits almost. And that's like a nice base skin tone, like when you mix those two together. I'll have to look at the other colors. But it goes on fairly smooth. Why is P3 different now? Because it used to be under what? Privateer? It's these paints. It says Privateer Press. Or did they change now? Is it another company I have to friggin' deal with changing stuff? They got bought out? Great. So now, let me guess, they're going to change the formula and cheap out on everything? What's up, Scott? Well, if that's the case, then I might be using these more often then. Alright, I'm gonna have to look into it now. If you hear anything like the formulas change or there's any issues, let me know. Otherwise, I'll probably start buying more of these then. It's pretty much skin tone, just like it's like I need to find good skin tone to be happy with them. As far as like regular colors, I got plenty of other brands for those. It's just the skin tones are always the pain in the ass. Yeah, I don't know where Jesse's at. I have no clue, but yeah, these are not cheap, so that's the problem. They're but they go on nice though. I mean, I like they go on like garage kits. They have the same sort of consistency of the skin tones. I mean, I'm seeing some errors here and there, so we'll let it dry, and then we'll kind of sand them down, and you'll see what I mean, that they sort of like work like garage kits. But they're a little thick though. They're a little thick. But they go on smooth and but I do like this blend between the two colors though. I actually like it a lot. And it dries fairly fast too. I mean it's still a little, but it's kind of, it doesn't like, it's not like rubbery. Hey, what's up, Butterfly? One thing I've noticed though so far is they feel like Garage Kit, you know, skin tones, but I noticed that they don't have any like. Sometimes Garage Kits, like if you don't mix them enough, they get a little bit chunky, and sometimes it clogs your airbrush, and sometimes like some chunks might come out once in a while. But so far with this, I'm seeing nice smoothness on it. So I mean, it's almost like a replacement. I'm just wondering if their transparencies are like Garage Kits, because if it is, then I can sort of get that skin tones like I used to get. Hey, what's up, Raccoon? But yeah, it feels like Garage Kits. You know, like it dries fairly fast. So I'm gonna blow dry it a bit, and then I'll do the skin tone on the cob, and then we'll sand it down, and I'll show you where it sort of feels like Garage Kits. It doesn't dry as fast, but it's still faster than a lot of the other paints. I won't be able to paint up the nun today because I didn't get a chance to seal the outfit. So I have to do some primer sealer on that. So it's a different process. So I'll explain that next time. But I tried to fine-tune these as best as I could this week. I'm pretty sure I missed some stuff. Spent a good 3 hours hand wash sanding this down in the sink. So I got a lot of errors filled out and sanded down, but I'm sure there's more. One thing so far, I'm not seeing it, but it could happen. Sometimes with the Garage Kit stuff, it sort of dried a little bit faster than this is drying. So like when paint would get caught back in there, it would start to create like a dust. But this sort of doesn't seem to be like drying as fast. But then once it hits and settles, it does. That sort of makes sense. But yeah, it goes on smooth. It It might be expensive, but it might be a good alternative now. Let's see, I thought maybe I can get some of that brightness out of there, but I'm really liking this color mixture. Actually, not bad. I don't know, it's probably hard to see in the screen for you guys, but hey, what's up, Devastator? This is straight out of the bottle, so I didn't put any water in here. It's coming right out of the bottle, so it's going fine. So yeah, I'm not doing anything else to it. I'm just like experimenting too, so. But this, well, I did it's sort of the pale pink, and I mixed hand flesh into it, so it's not that pale pink. It's got a mixture of these, and this is kind of like, this is almost like a Garage Kit's version flesh in a way, a little bit. Hey, what's up, Henry? Two-tone camouflage? What do you mean by two-tone? Like Cammy's legs from Street Fighter? Yeah, I think this is gonna become like almost my new favorite skin tone paint. But we still gotta see how well it works. Definitely some errors we gotta correct though. Hey, what's up, Cherry Bomb? Whatchamacallit? Butterfly, did you see what I asked before, or? And the stuff does clean out of the airbrush pretty well. Like I just squirted a whole bunch of my cleaning solution in there, and it does clean out fairly well. So it's really good paint. Alright, so let's start finding errors that I didn't see before. Alright, so what I used to do with the Garage Kit flesh tones, I mean, you probably could see better in this, see how this flesh tone is here. So it's not bad. It's a nice good balance of pink but not orangey, and it's not too tan, so it kind of works for Jessica. It's got a little bit more of the pink side though. So on Garage Kit's flesh tones, whenever I used to paint it, I would do a base coat, and then afterwards I would start to see errors. So there's a little bit of like problems inside the cleavage. So, you know, with my sandpapers, with Garage Kits, I was able to do this. And this stuff I can sort of do the same thing without it peeling. But it sort of does peel a little bit, but not as bad. So you kind of see, like, it did a little peeling there. But it's not bad like, you know, some other brands. But if you kind of go light, you can sort of fix any kind of globs or any issues. But yeah, so far, like I said, it's because if you do this with like Createx, it'll just peel all over the place. Vallejo, I really don't use skin tone for Vallejo, so I don't really know that much. So I'm just gonna go around. There's a couple things that I gotta correct that I'm seeing now. That's the only problem with customizing it. Sometimes you don't catch everything on the primer until you add skin. So let's see. I did have, where is that sandpaper? There it is. No, what do you need to know, Butterfly? I'll give you some, like, are you trying to make camo pants, or are you trying to... Might as well ask me now while I'm goofing off with this stuff. If I can help, though. That'll make it worse for you. See, like when you sand this, once it really starts to dry or you didn't put a heavy coats on, it kind of like comes off like garage kits used to. So... It's I don't know. I got to see what you're trying to do. Yeah, we're experimenting, Iceman, with these new paints. So I'm trying to, I'm going to see how they work out, mixing colors. This is just a base coat anyway. So right now I'm just trying to find errors and stuff. Sky blue camo and pink. I mean... I try to make it like camo, like army pants. Alright, I gotta make a better tool to get in there, so let's grab some... Where's this little piece here? What's it call it? Like, camo, I don't know, like if I was to do camo, I guess I would probably, would have to come up with a pattern in a way. I might have to do like washes or like... it's kind of hard. I never really did camo before. I guess like if you were to do like black and white camo or greens, I guess you would do a base color darker. No, do a base coat light, the lightest camo. And then maybe wash or dry brush or like paintbrush in the darker areas and then the middle runs. So with sky blue and pink, which one would, you know, go over, like what paint would go over the other one cleaner. You know, like, does your sky blue go over the pink with like really nice and smooth, or does like some of it show, or does the pink go over the sky blue and no issues? Like, I guess find which one works better with the paint brand you're using, and then probably from there would probably be a better idea, I guess. If that makes any sense. If it's a big item though, if it's like a huge statue, like a larger scale, then maybe you could do silly putty. I don't know, it's kind of hard. Sometimes it always takes, you know, case by case projects to see which one works better. I don't know, I'm not a camo expert. I really, the cami stuff I did in the past, I kind of, whatchamacallit, I masked off with silly putty. So those were silly putty problem type thing. Yeah, I would definitely do, like, you could do, like, if you did the sky blue, right? If you did, like, the sky blue base, you could also draw the, I'm trying to think, like, this is just kind of how I would, like, kind of process it in a way. So, say you have your primer, I mean, your item. So, say, like if you did blue paint, but say the blue paint is a little bit durable and it doesn't scratch and you have a pencil, you maybe could sit there and sort of like draw the camo line, you know, kind of like draw whatever you kind of want. And then afterwards you could go in with a paintbrush and sort of paint in the pink on top of that area, the lighter, and leave this alone. I don't know if that would work. You know, don't be afraid to sit there and use like tools as well. But yeah, I mean, you know, if you can sit there and sort of draw it out, it's sort of kind of. And then if you want to sit there and if you're careful, you can just kind of light paint the area and light paint the area. I mean, that could work too. I don't know if that makes any sense. Because sitting there trying to silly putty little tiny areas like this would be a nightmare. But I mean, if you have the patience and you want to do it, you can do it. Another thing could be, I guess if you want to cut tape. You know, you can cut little pieces of tape around. You know, you can kind of draw on your tape, cut them out, and kind of just stick them all over the item, and then spray it down, and then pop them off. It all depends on how you want it to look. If it's a weathered item, though, you could get away with, you know, sitting there with a paintbrush and paint it, and then after it's done, you could do a little dry brush and it kind of weather it, and it could kind of take away any imperfections, if that makes sense too. I don't know, it's like I said, it's case by case basis to see what works better for you. Yeah, but Butterfly doesn't, you know, Butterfly's working on the sculpt already, so, you know, if it's not already sculpted there, you got to sort of kind of do it on your own, so. But you're more than welcome to shoot me an email, and then I can actually look at it better on Sunday and see what you're doing actually, if you want. It's hard to explain unless I know exactly what you're doing. I'm just kind of thinking off the top of my head of just camo. Well, that's just masking, period. I've always said it. I could sit here and mask an item for about an hour and paint it up in literally 30 seconds. So that's just masking. It's tedious, it sucks, but it's what makes the item look good. See, like I forgot to sand this little piece here. This was some putty, but now that this is dried and sanding it down, it creates a dust and it doesn't like peel. So, and then if you have finer sandpapers, you can sort of buff it out. So this paint is really good. I like it. I like this paint a lot. It actually works with the way I work. It's like the garage kit color stuff. So there's like a little divot here. It's a little tiny divot, so we got to put some putty on there. And this stuff seems to be okay with putty too, as long as you don't slap a lot on there. So there's a little divot over here. So if you let that dry, I'll be able to sand that little spot down in no time. So, but yeah, these paints don't really like leave a lot of residue. They don't have like a lot of splatter of like little specks and stuff. It's got a nice, it doesn't have a bad smell either. So, it's not bad. And like some of these areas here I'm seeing, like I like this type of paint where I can sort of do a base coat of skin tone and correct any issues that I missed. I like it. Some of those other paints are too rubbery, and you can't do this, at least not right away until it cures. It's the acryl paints. Is that how you pronounce it? Acryl. So there's a little spot here of like, I think primer. So this was kind of like dripping primer here, and I didn't see it before, but you can sort of see as I sand it, it kind of takes it away. Yeah, this stuff doesn't, as you can see, it's got a very pastel feel, like the garage kit colors. So, but I'm not like grinding it. I'm just kind of like letting the sandpaper sort of sand it down. I'm letting the sandpaper do its thing. Because if you sit there and you try to grind it away, you're just ripping up paint. But if you just kind of let the sandpaper take off the light area and just kind of take its time, it sort of takes it down. So this is kind of like correcting that little bleed of the primer here. You might not have seen it in camera, but in person, I could see it. And then you could go onto your finer sandpaper blocks. Sort of kind of buff it out a bit. Yeah, it works good. I like it. Well, this Pro Acryl stuff is nice. It really is. It's like Garage Kit Flesh Tones, pretty much. It's almost like Garage Kit Flesh Tones, but without the chunkiness, I guess you could say. See, I like this type of skin tone paint, but then I like the other brands and the other stuff for like outfits and hairs and stuff. So I don't like the charcoal-y, like this. I guess you could say this is kind of more of like the pastel chalk or charcoal type of paint, or chalk, or whatever you want to call it. And it's good for skins, but I wouldn't want this type of paint doing like the red outfit. So that's why I like to use a lot of different brands. You know, like one red paint from one brand is great. Blue is great from this brand. These are good skin tones, and you know, you create an arsenal so you start knowing what paints are good for what projects. Just like Garage Kits, I liked their skin tones, but I wasn't a fan of like the regular colors. You know, like their regular colors didn't go on the way I wanted them to. That's why I liked Vallejo and stuff. But then, you know, I liked some Garage Kits colors. Like I wasn't a fond of the metallics they had. I wasn't fond of the solid colors, but the transparencies were amazing, and the skin tones were great. See, if I remember correctly, I think Jesse started off with just doing the skin tones, and then he started going off to the other colors. So I think that's why I love the skin tones, because that was the main focus in the beginning. But like their metallics, it was very hard to build up the metallic of his brand. You would have to sit there and do like layer after layer. But there is a couple spots here and there of a little bit of chunkiness that got on there, probably when I pulled back the trigger. But if you just go with the sandpaper on your base coat, takes it down. Of course, this is a little Eve spot here. That's why I try not to handle stuff too well when I customize. I don't know, let's see if we can see it. Like, it's kind of hard to see. Like right there's a little red spot. When I sanded it down, that's a little chunk of Eve's. So that's sort of. So I tried not to handle stuff too much, but also right here as well. Well, metallics also is, you know, you got, like you said, you got those little particles, and sometimes if the particles are really, really thick, like Tamiya metallic, it's great. It goes on when you thin it down pretty good, but it's got a lot of heavy metal bits in there. But it works. But then some of the other colors are kind of suck. You know, but then when you go to Vallejo metallics, they're really nice and smooth and seamless, and they go on good with a paintbrush, so that's why I use those too. So on this hand, there's a lot of scratches. I thought I got out of here, but I guess I didn't. So there's a lot of scratches here. So you'll see it like maybe. You can sort of see all those scratches that I missed. I thought I sanded this down. I guess I didn't. But I have noticed though that this stuff bonds pretty well to, you don't need to like have primer. Like, you know, some people think that, oh, you sanded this down and you have to prime this again. Something you really don't have to. As long as it's clean, it works. Plus, when you seal it too, that helps. Unless it's an oily kit. And when I say oily, I mean if it's they used a lot of mold release, if they did the traditional way. Alright, so got some of those areas. So let's go back to the spot behind her leg. And this putty should be okay to sand now. I noticed that the Tamiya putty on certain paints, it actually reacts it a little bit and it almost sort of pulls up the paint, but this doesn't do it to this stuff, so that's good. That's good to know. But looking pretty good on errors. I'm not really seeing... It's just that little spot there I want to clean inside the chest. And I need to clean a little bit up here, so let's make another little piece. This is the tedious stuff before you can really kind of dive into it. I always like to make sure everything is nice and ready to be painted. So let's make another one of these. I think what we'll do is we'll kind of take a little of this foam off the back of it. Where's my glue? I don't know. Do you guys go through this when you do your stuff too? I have it. It's whenever even when I work on kits, I have a habit of doing the skin tone and finding stuff that I miss with primer. It's like a never-ending battle with skin tones. Sometimes I get lucky and I'll do an item and I'll prime it and I'll sand it and I have no issues, and then there's other times I just miss everything. It's kind of a pain in the ass. I thought I cleaned this up, but I did not. But a little extra sanding and it'll look good. Hey, what's up, Rookin? How's it going? But I think this is looking pretty good now. Alright, so let's grab the cop. Let's get her sanded down. And then I think we can start painting. I gotta get the spring cleaning going too. Getting too much dust in here. Alright, so got a couple spots here and there. Her face looks pretty good. Little spot on the cheek. Little spot here. That's looking good. So here's some putty I completely forgot to sand down. You know what it is, I don't have a slop sink, so when I wet sand this stuff in the winter time and I do it in the bathroom, I have a small little sink, so I get worried about turning the figures around and hitting the faucet and like cracking the figure up. But at least in the summertime I could do it outside in like a bucket in a driveway. I wish I had a slop sink in the damn garage. It'd be so much easier. Alright, just double checking some spots. Over here. She's gonna have the pantyhose on, so still gotta paint the skin tone. Wow, there's a big spot. What is this? I didn't see this before. What do I do with that little one? Here it is. Oh, I'll get it in there. That's the only downside. See, that's a little scrape I did by accident, but buff it out a bit. Alright, now the arms. I think we should be ready. So here's, I think this is a, I don't know if this is a bleed or that's putty. Alright. Alright, wash my hands real quick. Alright, so we're going to focus on her first, and then we'll do the other one. I'm going to try to keep all colors together. So we used a lot of paint, so I'm going to mix up some more of this color, just so I have some extra for the other one too. Better to have a bunch mixed than not enough. I mean, when I do the none, I'll have to mix up a special batch too. But just make sure we have enough for these two today. And we're gonna put some more of this tan in there. I probably should rip some of this label off or something, so this way I know this is the... Oh, it's all sticky now. You know what? This way I know this is my mixed batch, so I don't get confused later. Nothing sucks more than picking up the wrong paint. Man, this camera hates when I touch it. Alright, let's get the base coat back on. Alright, so we got, this is a shadow flesh. So let's see how the shadow flesh works. I'm going to thin it down a bit though. I don't want it too thick. Let's see, we got shadow flesh and then we got light umber, which is too brown. Just want to see how these paints work out before I pull out any other colors. It's got like a reddish orangey brown to it. Alright, so I like to kind of heavy shadow things up and then take it back down afterwards. So let's kind of just get some shadow in areas. I know Jessica Rabbits aren't really shaded that much, at least not in the cartoon, but I'm kind of doing it my own way. She can have a little life to her. Not worried if I overspray. I'm just trying to get color down and then pull it back out with lighter color again. It's always kind of hard to get like colors. Some people like to work dark to light. spray really heavy on the hand, but like I said, it doesn't really matter. No, this one's not having stockings, and my pressure right now is at hold on, I can't see it. Pressure is about 40, but I use this airbrush here where I can, you know, adjust it. So I know a lot of the guys in the hobby, they're always like, they want the pressure at a certain, you know, I keep it high so I can adjust here. It's easier to sit here and mess with this for a lower pressure than it is to keep going down to the ground. So, sorry, I'm not looking at chat, so give me a chance to reply. And what I'm trying to do is just get like the darker paint in areas I know that when I start to take it down, the paint won't get into that much, so it'll kind of help keep that shadow in the deep areas. Just got to be careful of this piece so you don't hit anything too. That's one of the other problems. Alright, so normally if I had a lot of transparencies, I would start doing like transparency colors in areas, but since I really don't have a good transparency brand yet, we're going to just try to stick to this. So what I like to do here is sort of kind of go to a semi-transparency. So we go back to our main color, mix it with a little bit of water that I have with a little alcohol. And then you get sort of like that Garage Kits transparency, which is watery. And then what I like to do is just kind of start taking it down a bit. This way, you know, like that shadow sort of sits in areas, and then if there is a little bit of area that's too much shadow, you can kind of start pulling it back. And then same thing with like the hand. Yeah, I like the Garage Kit transparencies because you can sort of get that like vermilion hue, which is kind of like a reddish orange, into the skin. But sadly, that Freak Flex transparency stuff is too like gummy. So I need to find a watery transparency that was like Garage Kits. Do you guys know any good watery transparencies? Because the Freak Flex stuff that I have, it's good, but it's like very gummy, and even when I try to water it down, it doesn't like water down the way I want it to. Yeah, see, it's kind of like I want that Garage Kits transparency where it was kind of more of a stain than a transparency paint. I know it's hard to explain, but it like stained the paint more than actually transparent. It's kind of weird to explain. It just worked well the way I did things. But I mean, so far for Jessica, this is kind of working out pretty well. She's not really super defined in shades. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of like taking down some areas, you know, spraying far away. But we'll mess with some stuff. We'll see how things work out. Alright, now I do have a little bit left in here, so I'm going to put it back in my bottle so I don't waste it. So we are going to try to do some kind of transparency now, at least on this one. I'll pull it in the other camera, kind of show you what I'm at, where I'm at a little bit better. So kind of pop this over here. So you kind of see what I'm doing a little bit here. So what I like to do is I like to have some shading sort of around edges a little bit with the airbrush. You know, I got some shading up around the face. And I kind of let gravity take its course too in some areas. And then, you know, I'll go back in, we'll brighten stuff up, we'll hit stuff down, but you can see sort of the difference, kind of where I'm at. So I think what we're going to try to do is make up some kind of like a vermilion hue. Citadel shades, I haven't really had a chance to look at the Citadels. The place I go to doesn't have a lot of shades or transparencies. I might have to order some of those. I'll check into them. But we'll mess with the... Hold on. Let's... back and forth. Alright, so I do know this transparency is beautiful. I don't know about the new company now, but the Formula P3 Flesh Wash is a beautiful, beautiful flesh wash. The only problem with it, though, is if you overspray it, it starts to make the character very tan, which is good, though, if you want to go for that look. So if you want, like, a Deja Thors kind of like tan, this is kind of a good to do like on over your item. So like say you got your shades, you got your highlights, but you want a tanner, this flesh wash is good to kind of like get that tan look going. So it's not a bad paint. But for Jessica, I want a little bit like an vermilion hue, which is an orangey stuff. So let's try. Where is this? Is this the red? If you want a good, like orangey sort of, the maroon tint from the Badger is actually really good. It's just that it's not, it doesn't have that red and too much in it, but it's good if you want to tan the character down too. Alright, let's see if I can turn this camera down without going off. There we go. Alright, so like I said, this is my bottle of 10% alcohol and rest water. Gotta mix some up soon again. So I'm going to put some in here. And then we're going to grab some red from Badger. And then we grab some yellow. And we create sort of an orangey color. Now, this is sort of what Garage Kit colors used to be in a way. Let me just make sure. So what I like to do is kind of mix it together and then see where I'm at. So vermilion hue is an old color that I learned in art school, and they used to have a color on it that was like $40 a bottle back in the day. All right, so this is a little too. No, let me see. Let's see where we're at. It's a little bit yellow, so we got to put some more of the. You know what? We're gonna put some of that maroon in there. Maybe that'll kind of take it down a bit. Yeah, so vermilion hue is it's an old. I don't know if it's a super expensive paint anymore. But back in art school, when it was like 1996, 97, it used to be like $26 a bottle, and that was crazy expensive. See, you can get a good transparency with this stuff, but it's not as good. Maybe I just gotta practice more with it, you know, kind of do some more practice paint-ups and personal stuff. And you know what it is? I guess I would just spoil with Garage Kits. You could just do it right out of the bottle and it was perfect. Maybe that's kind of what it is now. It just was too spoiled. George, this is the ES Monster Jessica Rabbits, but these are customized into different characters. So if you wanted to purchase it, you'd have to buy the file and 3D print it, but these are the nude versions, so I customize these to different versions. ES Monster. Yo, is it ES? What is it again? ES Monster? E3 Monster or something? I don't know. You guys remember more than I remember. Yeah, so he sells this file as a 3D file you have to print out, but also it's a nude version and a cloth version. her right hand is a mess. You got to clean up this right hand. Alright, so we're going to take this paint and we're going to put it into this throwaway bottle. This is kind of my mixture of all kinds of other paints at the moment. Alright, so now that we got a transparency on it, what I like to do is sort of take it down with some Tester's dull coat. And kind of let that sit for a second or two. Yeah, George, they have this file, but like I said, mine are customized. So what you see on my shelf, what I'm doing is one of a kind, but they sell the files you could kind of print and do whatever if you want. No, this one's gonna be it's gonna be sparkle red like her red outfit. But let me bring it over to the other camera so you can see kind of where I'm at. So you can sort of see the difference now between like the base coat. It's still a little too heavy shading. We're going to still tone it down. I still got to correct this hand a bit in paints. But because what I like to do is kind of just build out the shadows. It's a little too shadow up in here. We'll take this down, and then what I'll do is I'll use like pastels to kind of shade in the cleavage a bit. But you can see the knees are at least a little bit, you know, it's got some life to it a little bit more. But it's still a little too heavy, so we'll take it down a bit. Well, we're getting there. We're getting there slowly. So let's kind of bring her back. Kind of correct this hand too a bit. Yeah, George, these are going to be probably up for grabs because these were the Patreon votes for my Patreon. So they'll probably end up on eBay when they're done. There's 3 of them: the Nun, the Police Officer, and the Star Trek. So we're going to go back to that transparency color again. Oh no, I don't do 3D files. I don't produce 3D files, or you know, I printed these out and then I hand sculpted, customized them. So if you go onto my YouTube channel, you can see all the progress on these. So they're one of a kind sculpts. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it, George. Sadly, I wish I had better camera work, but this is kind of, as I tell everybody, I'm not a YouTuber. This is just kind of like a fun Friday thing. Someday I'll get better cameras, but till then, well, what it is, I got my lighting too for how I see it, so I guess it's hard for the camera to pick it up. But I'd rather be able to paint it the way I see it than to try to make the camera perfect. Spot underneath that's bothering me. Got a little glob of paint, I guess, came out. Also, I'm seeing a error here too. So this happens every once in a while too. I'll work on an item, and I guess there's sort of a bleed here. So even though I did all that blend work, I'll just have to fix it up again. I don't know if you guys can see this line. So that's a little bit of a spot bothering me, so just kind of hit it and we'll just fix it. Go back to those colors. That's why I always try to keep all the colors I'm using and not try to go off script. Gotta go back to the thicker paint a little bit. I think there's a spot there, and I think that one spot expanded. I gotta hit this hand a little bit more. So I have a habit of just kind of building and building and building till I get it where I want it. Sometimes I make errors. Other times I find colors I don't like. So like I say, I don't have a formula. I just get it to where I want it, and I keep blending it to, and I like the blending too. I like with the airbrush, just blending and blending and blending. And just blending stuff out and trying stuff and hitting it with the tester's dull coat. It's just kind of like how I like to paint. And then like we'll start going into I do have a little bit left of the Garage Kit's Flesh Tones semi-transparency, and we'll kind of highlight some areas soon. But I just kind of want to go back into this with some color. So I'm going to mix up the where is that other color? Why am I? Oh, here it is. So we're gonna put this. I have some of the base color and some of the shadow flesh. So we'll mix these two together with a little bit of drop or two of water. Get like a mixture of blend. eyeshadow is purple, right? I mean, her eyelash, like the eyelash lid is like a purple, but isn't it like a deeper purple up top, right? Or is it just more of a shading gray? Alright, so I'm pretty happy with a lot of the shading I got now, but I want to go back in and start detailing a little bit more of the base color, and then we're going to highlight, and then I think I'm going to try and add a little shade underneath that eyelid. So I'm thinking more like a purple or lavender, right? It's purple on the lid, but the eyeshadow is what, like a deeper purple? Or is it... I forgot what I did on my other Jessicas. I think I did a deeper purple for the Sideshow ones. Alright, I'm going to try to take down some shadow areas. Anything I see that needs to be hit. Well, you know what? We won't use the garage kits. We're going to stick with this paint, but we're going to try to see if we can get a lighter color by mixing a dab or two of white into it. Lavender? Alright, so I guess we're going to go with lavender. I think I have a little bit left of that garage kits lavender, so I think we're going to try that. So, probably what we're going to do is we're going to go with just a pale pink, since this is kind of like, you know, these colors is like this. So it's got the tan flesh, and then we have the pale pink, but the main color was mixed in. So this will be my highlight now, because I think if I add a little too much white into the color, even though this is transparent white, it'll kill it. So this is going to be our brightest color. So basically this is kind of like the paint up right now. It's these, you know, colors in order, but with also some of my transparency. So we're going to do a little bit of washing, I guess you could say, semi-transparent. And I'll show you how I do the eyelid. Not the lid, the eyeshadow first. And we'll go from there. So let's go back to our water, and then we're gonna grab some of this without spilling everything, and we'll get like sort of a, I don't mind doing the pink, pale pink for her, because she kind of is a little pale, I guess you could say, in the cartoon. Well, not the cartoon, the movie. So what I'm going to try to do is hit highlighted areas. Try not to overspray, but trying to make that chest pop a little bit more, I guess you can say. And then what we'll do is we'll hit the legs with a little bit of the knee areas. See, this pale pink goes a long way, so you got to be very careful because it's almost like a white. Okay, I think that looks, any more than that I think we'll kill it. So I'm going to Tester's dull coat it down again, and then we'll see how it looks on the other camera. These cans are now like almost $10 a can now. It's insane. And this only lasted pretty much the Mary Jane and this statue. Basically just squeezing out the last of it. Luckily I have one more. So the reason why I use Tester's dull coat is it gives it a little bit of a it makes it a little bit, seals it, but it also kind of sort of melts it down. But I'm actually getting closer to what garage kits used to look like, so I'm actually happy with the way it's looking. It's not bad. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick up more of these paints, get used to them a little bit more. I'm glad you guys recommended me trying these. I kind of like them a lot now. Oh, I'll grab the can. Hold on, I'm sorry. I don't have the computer screen in front of me when I, it's spray lacquers, Testers, dull coat. So I need to take down a little bit in the chest a little bit more. See, the tester's dull coat sort of kind of brought some stuff together, but it kind of brought up this shadow here. So I'm going to take some of that down. But this is kind of like how I like to paint. I like to layer this stuff. I got to get a little bit of shading and color in here. I kind of missed this area now that I'm looking at it. But I like... Now, I don't know how well the camera's picking it up, but my camera wants to make it darker than it is, but it's not. But yeah, see, the tester's dull coat, I think what it is those transparencies from the Freak Flex sort of starts to bleed a little bit more compared to what Garage Kits used to do. But this is just kind of how I like to add my colors. But we still got more to go. It's not quite done. I want to pull out, like I got some stuff underneath here I got to get because I wasn't turning her upside down that much. But I like where the face is going though. I'm trying not to give her too much of a cheekbone though. I'm trying to just keep it back here because if I go too far here it'll change the face. I'm trying not to do that. But if it was like a regular statue, I probably would bring out the cheekbone more. So I don't think she has blush. I'm not going to put blush on her though, because I don't think she really has blush on her stuff. Yes, I have used Krylon flat cans and it destroyed an item and I will never use it ever again. I used Krylon flat coat in art school after I did an item and white spray came out everywhere. And then back in 2005, I think it was, I tried it again on the statue because someone said use it, and white shit came all out of it, the can again. It was a brand new can and I shook the hell out of it, and it wasn't white paint, it was Krylon flat. So I've heard plenty of other people having that issue too. So I do not use Krylon at all, period. I don't use their primer, I don't use their flat coats, I don't use their paints. I am anti-Krylon, I guess you could say. There was also another kid in my art school. She did this really nice acrylic painting, and she had to go ahead and seal it for the display. And she had a can of Krylon flat, and it completely just white crap all over her item. And it was I don't know what it is, but there's something wrong with that Krylon, or I just don't want to risk it ever again. I felt bad for her too because she put a lot of work into it. Yeah, I don't know, maybe you just have better luck, but from 1996 we had those issues, and then in 2000 and I think it was 5 or 6 when I was doing these statues, it happened again. And then I also know another guy that was working on a statue it happened to. And I was on forums and people had issues, so I just stay away from Krylon, period. I'd rather spend the extra $2 or $3, $5 on a can I know that's not going to give me an issue versus one that might give me an issue. So, you know, some people are like, oh, if you use Krylon it's the same thing and you'll save a couple bucks, but I'd rather have peace of mind. Nothing sucks more than like painting all this and then you hit it with a can and white crap goes all over it. I'm just the type of person where if it works and I know it works and I'm doing, you know, I try not to risk it by trying to save a couple bucks. I mean, honestly, like I said, when it comes to painting, especially if I'm painting up a client's item, because, you know, I'm doing this for clients too, I don't want to cheap out on the stuff just to save like a couple bucks and risk having issues. I'd rather buy the good paints, I'd rather buy the chemicals I know that works, and I'd rather just get it done and get it to the client the way it should be. So I don't mind spending the extra couple bucks on stuff versus sitting there and have to redo it. That's just me. I don't know. We're all different. I know some of you guys probably would rather save, because if you're doing it as a hobby, but I don't like to take the chance. Gotta go into some of this shadow flesh. And then some of this water. One couple more spots, and then I think we can do the eyes. But what I do like to do is after I do a flesh tone item, I do like to let it sit for the night and then come back the next day and see if there was anything I didn't see or something I didn't like. I try not to seal it all right away and act like I'm done, just in case. Come back with fresh eyes, I guess you could say. Just hard to get to those knees though, that's the only issue. Alright, I think it's kind of where I want it to be. Alright, so for her eye shadow, not the eyelids, the shadow, I have this airbrush that I only pop out for specific times, which is my BHPB Plus. So this one I actually have to take down the compressor a bit. Alright, and let's see, I think I have some lavender paint left. If it's not caked up, if it's caked up, then I think it's gone. So I have transparency lavender from Garage Kits, but sadly I think it's dead. Yeah, see, it's dead. This is shot. It's not gonna... Let me see how it looks on the wall. Yeah, it's like pure water. It's shot. All right, that's dead. This is the thing that suck with these transparencies. They just, once they cake down and gel to the bottom, they're dead. That sucks. All right. So with that being said, we do have. Do I have a purple from? Do not have a purple. But we can make a purple. Alright, so let's... We got blue. This is not a transparency. Is this transparency? Nope, that is not a transparency. That will kill that eye in a second. I do have a purple. Alright, I do have a transparency purple. Alright, we're saved. I knew I had one. It's laying on its side. Alright, so I got Badger transparency purple. So we gotta be super careful with this. So I'm gonna put in a couple drops of water, a couple drops of the purple. Don't need a lot. Alright, what I like to do, well, this is what I used to do with the garage kit colors. Let's get this blow dryer for here. Because it was watery, I like to heat up the item area first. Get this hand out of the way. Reason why I heat it up, because what happens is sometimes it bleeds, but if you get the area sort of hot, so it sort of kind of dries up a little faster when it hits it. So let's see if I can do this while it's sort of in the camera a bit. Let's see. I think that's good anymore. I think we're pushing it. I'll show you on the other camera. Maybe a little bit more. I don't know. Make sure to. There we go. I think that should be good. I gotta clean out this brush right away because I don't like this getting clogged at all. Alright, it's not that much, but I think it's just enough, you know? I do have... This is one color that I'm going to miss from Garage Kits, and so far I haven't had a problem with the bottle, but this color, lavender from Garage Kits, is probably one of my favorite colors ever. And this color is just perfect to put right over that eyelid, and it works. I put it on my other Jessicas. But, I mean, if you really wanted to, you can mask this off, and you can do, like, you know, lavender solid and then, like, kind of darker edges. But this really worked really good with the paintbrush, which I'm going to use later. But once that bottle's gone, I'm going to miss it. But we're going to do some pastels, though, before we work on the cop a little bit. Alright, so like I said, the lights are probably making the chest glow, but it's not really glowing. So I do have blush. This is a great old container of blush I had. This is really good to sort of work out the chest a little bit, inside the cleavage. Now, like I said, if this was a regular paint up, I probably would do blush on her cheeks, but not going to do that. But we could use a little bit of this inside here a bit. Kind of soften it up a little bit there. Okay. And then, I did pick these up. I don't know if I showed you guys last time. These are Tamaya like pastels. Honestly, I don't see the difference between these and you know, like women's makeup stuff. It's kind of like the same thing. It's just upcharge. So honestly, better off just going to like getting a kit or going to CVS and getting stuff. I really didn't see a difference. So, because I forgot who told me. Somebody said that these are like amazing and pick these up, and honestly, kind of the same thing. Alright, so if you do have a paintbrush with a darker color, which you do, always hard to get that center cleavage dark, otherwise it looks like it's kind of glowing. And if you have these, you could go in areas, but honestly I don't really think I need to go crazy with her because I think she's fine so far. But if there is any areas you want to lighten up that you can't get with the airbrush, Now, normally, as I tell everybody, your item like this always looks like sort of like an alien. But once you start adding the eyeshadow, the eyes, the lips, the outfit, it starts coming together. So I would always try not to overthink it, the skin tone. At least I try not to. You know, because you could sit there all day, oh, this is too dark, that's too light, this is... But if you start, you know, putting colors next to your items, you can start to see where the, you know, where it might start looking different. So, don't be afraid to grab, like, if it's going to be a blue outfit, put blue next to it. So just kind of think about that. If you also, too, if you want to, you could also take, like, a picture and Photoshop the colors in to see where you're at. But I'm thinking that there's only this spot here is a little too dark. But I'm going to like let this sit for the day and come back. You know, maybe tomorrow I'll just kind of hit that real quick, and then next stream we could go further. But like I said, I get to the point where I'm overlooking it, and sometimes you just gotta walk away. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. So I think this, we're gonna have to do this off camera too tomorrow. I think what I gotta do is I gotta kind of get into there, unless that's sort of that might be just dust. So let's kind of see. No, maybe, you know what, let's try and hit it with some, let's grab a paintbrush. Let's grab something different. I don't want to use that brush. Here's that other brush. I had it here somewhere. Yeah. So let's do a darker color. Let's see if I can sort of darken that without trying to jam an airbrush in there, you know? Yeah, I know. You know, all those years as a graphic designer, I sit here and I work on an item, and I sit there and I screw something up, and in my back of my mind, I want to hit Control Z and go back, and then I'm like, ah, damn it, I can't do that. Yeah, I might have to kind of hit that with an airbrush tomorrow or Monday or wherever. I'll come back to that and see. I've had, when I first started doing this, like really started doing this for a living, you know, I would have weird dreams at night. I was painting an item and I would like screw something up and I would be like, oh, I'm just going to hit Control Z and it works. But then I wake up the next day and I'm like, oh, that's not going to happen. Alright, you know what, I'm going to hit this spot now, it's bothering me. And then we can work on a police officer. bugged me. Alright, so it's got to be its base color, which is this one. Just a couple drops. And it's just this area. Yeah, that looks better. That was bugging the hell out of me. And can I get in here? Nah, I gotta do that off camera. Just gotta get into a comfortable position without screwing up the needle. Alright. So let's let her set up a bit, and we'll do the eyeshadow, the eyelid or something later, but let's do the top now. Just let her kind of cure a bit. Alright. So there is one spot that is bugging me. And then we can get this base coat back on her. So this spot on her chest is sort of still kind of wonky. Oops. That's gotta be careful. Yes, I've done that plenty of times, painting and scraping paint and having to go back and do it again. Especially with the larger items in this booth. Solve that problem. These are solid. When I had them print, Raz is the one that printed out for us. They are printed hollow, but there's a rod. I'll show you the rod. So a little bit of a thicker rod, but there's a rod all the way up her leg. So this rod that's keyed here goes all the way up her leg like that. Of course I had to bend it, and then I poured in resin, and that resin went down all the body, so she's solid as a rock now. And she won't ever lean because there's a solid rod all the way up there. So when I did these last year in the summertime, I poured in resin from the top of her head, and it filled all the way up there, and it locked that rod into her leg, so there's no worrying about any of that. So if you ever 3D print and you want to make them solid, if you have good 3D resin print, you can use 2-part resin, and you can fill it and make it solid. I like all my items solid. I don't like hollow items, because even though Raz printed these pretty thick, if you print them thin and you keep them hollow, if you get cold and hot, it expands and contracts, and you can start cracking your paints. I've had that happen on older kits, so I always make them solid if I can. It's a little bit more money, but it makes them a little bit better. Alright, so far using these paints, I haven't had really any clogging issues, so that's a good sign too. But we need to mix up some cleaner, because I'm all out. Alright, so let's mix up. You know what? I gotta do it over here. Let me mix up some stuff real quick. Well, I'm not saying they're all gonna, like, you know, crack and they're all because it's hollow, it's the end of the world. I've had personal experience with, like, thinner casted resin and it cracks over time. I just want peace of mind. I'm not saying it's going to, but, you know, for me, I take that extra step. Yeah, I didn't mind ES Monster's hair sculpt for Jessica, but I figured since I'm customizing them, I wanted to have the more traditional hair. So that's what I did. And also for those who haven't watched the video, so making up cheap airbrush cleaner. This is Glass Plus without ammonia. So I put about what was the oh my god, I forgot the channel that I watched who made this. Then this is alcohol. Oh man, why am I drawing a blank on their channel? I found their channel on YouTube, and is it Forceworks or something? They're the ones who came up with this formula, and I've been using it for what, a couple years now, and it's amazing. Damn it, who came up with this formula? I'm drawing a blank. And then this is glycerin, a couple drops of this, sort of like to break the tension or something, I think what they said. And just fill the rest up with water. Yeah, no problem, George. Isn't it fun painting? There's always something to kind of do, whether it's to get your solutions, your mixtures, sanding, non-stop. Alright, so yeah, if you print out another one, resculpt the hair, or if you reprint it, make a custom. You know, do something fun with it. Alright, so we're going back to the way. So we're going to do the water a little bit, and we'll do the shadow flesh. Now this one, the legs are going to have the stocking, so we're going to basically paint her up the way she's supposed to be painted, and then we're going to do sort of like a transparency over the legs with a little bit hint of pearl to give it that stocking shine. But we'll get to that later. Now, if you're comfortable with painting, you could paint up the skin tone on her arms and upper body and do the stockings afterwards. But I like to try to show somewhat of the skin tone underneath of it. Not that I'm always going to be perfect with it, but that's kind of what I like to do. So basically going back to the shadows, you know, spray heavy, it doesn't matter. No, I think it was it Rick's Force Dragon Works or something? I think that's who made up the formula. I can't believe I'm forgetting it. I watch the channel every once in a while too. Why is it? I'm drawing a blank. I don't know. It must be the old age kicking in. You know, if you go back to my video where I made the formula, I give them a shout out to the channel. Why am I drawing a blank? I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. Must be one of those weeks. It was funny too, because I was like, I found their channel and I was having a problem with the I was using Windex all the time, and then I found their channel and they were like, use Glass Plus, and I was like, oh my god, I was like, never even thought of that. It's bugging me now. I really want to know who it was. I might. Oh my god. It's always a YouTube channel. It's always that, like, a YouTube channel where I'm like, you know what? you watch their stuff and then you forget the channel's name. Probably because I have like 800 channels I watch. Wait a second, is their channel gone? Red Dragon Bottle Works. Why did I knew it was red. Yeah. Here, I'll link it in chat. You check out the stuff. Good stuff there. Why is this spurting out all of a sudden? Oh yeah, Lux, what else did they do? And I know I can't keep up with their sculpts. They hit ES Monster and A3D. I sub to their Patreons as a free member, and they have so much coming out. It's crazy. Alright, so now we're getting the first time this is caking up. I don't know why. Spot here. Oh, Jill Valentine? Okay. See, I like ES Monster and A3D, but I sometimes I feel some of their sculpts are a little lazy. Like sometimes you could tell that it was rushed out the door. At least that's how I view some of their sculpts, but other ones they're really good. So I don't know if maybe they're just trying to get some out the door to meet their demand. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about that, but oh, it's different artists. I went to a Jersey Fest show and I put some items in the contest back in the day, but I really don't do any shows or contests anymore. I'm just too busy working on stuff for clients and my own personal collection that I just don't have the time. Plus, I really don't care. I mean, I got so much work now, I can't even... Like, I don't care about contests. I like to focus on the YouTube channel because that's like my advertising tool. Paint. Yeah, I like the STL groups, but I also feel that sometimes they're just rushing stuff out the door. But if they are using different artists, maybe that's what it is. But, you know, it's like, I consider STL sculpt sort of like the way, you know, licensed items are. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. And sometimes they just don't appeal to me. So... But yeah, art direction is very important, you know. Like if you're gonna make a character like Jessica Rabbit, she's got to have a certain pose and look. If you're gonna make like a Naruto character, they got to have a pose and look. So if you're gonna outsource it to some other sculptor, you can't just say, "Oh, do your own thing," because if they don't know the character, it's not gonna look right. So that's kind of like, you know, that's one of those things too as well. I gotta make some more water and alcohol. But I mean, there's so much coming out that honestly, they're not gonna make everybody happy. So... But the good thing about STLs though is if you paint on your own and you do your own hobby, you know, if you're into this type of stuff and doing it, you can buy an STL cheap or sub to their Patreon and print it out for a fair amount of money and paint it yourself, you know. Whereas if you're not into it and you commission somebody, you got to be a little bit more picky, you know. I've suggested a lot of STLs to people in the past for customs, but they're like, well, I'm not really a fan of the anatomy, I don't like the pose, or the face isn't right. Where they're like, well, I like the sideshow one better because it's a better pose or head. So, you know, I think some STLs are good, some are bad. There's a lot of STLs where I love the body, I don't like the head, but there's other STLs where I'm like, that head would work perfect on that body. So you do have a chance of mix and match, which is actually kind of good for me because I've been studying a lot of like STLs out there and I've been saving them. I've been buying them, but I'm just saving them in a folder because I'm like, oh, that would be good for this custom, but I need this head off of that statue, you know, other STL. So that's kind of where I'm at now. So, and after these Jessicas are done, I'm actually been still studying a bunch of STLs, so I'm kind of like thinking that there might be one STL I was looking at, but it might be a head from another item to use, so. And as long as you can get somebody to sort of print it in scale, you're good to go. Alright, so this is the watered down color of the original color from the base, so just kind of taking the shadow down again. I think when I do this, I'm going to have to actually wrap her upper body and then do the legs upside down. To get underneath the skirt's going to be a bitch, so we'll have to do that next time. But for now, we'll kind of keep working on the skin. Yeah, that's perfect, Lux. That's the great thing about the STL market, which I have to say. If you like a head for an item, and even if you have a sideshow statue, if you could print a different, I have a couple bodies that I had this guy, you know, print out a couple heads for me, like I did with the Jessie Pokemon. I like that head that Abe did. Or AS Monster, I forgot who it was, and I used that for the Pop Culture Shock item. So that's the good thing about STLs. You don't have to, you know, sit there and use what's there. Even if you don't like the hand, or you don't like the way the base is, or, you know, you can mix and match, which is kind of cool. Alright, we're going to make that vermilion hue again. So we're going to grab water. This is a little bit of the maroon tint. Grab our yellow. And we'll grab our red. It's too yellow. I never heard of that one. I'm not really into Spider-Man, but yeah, I guess I see too many, everything is venomized on, We Are Collectors, so I don't know if they're STLs or if they're, pre-paint, group items, but I'm kind of over everything venomized, the Spider-Man stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you like it, you like it, but I'm sort of sick of seeing, like, everything has got a venom, you know, symbiote over them. I guess it's the in thing to do, or either that people are running out of ideas. I guess I'm just not a Venom character fan, so I guess I don't really care for it. Liking that arm. I might have to sand that down. Not liking what this looks like. Well, that's good. It's good when they make some good stuff, but I guess each group and people make what I guess people are asking for or what voted on, or unless it's just sculptors trying to show off their skill and they want to grab some work. I don't know, I'm just kind of over it. This whole part here was sort of sticking out for some reason. Is there something over here I needed to do? Or yeah, I didn't like this area here. That's what happens when I customize. Sometimes these start to really show issues when I start shading it. So. But I'll correct it. See, I like these paints. I can do this. This is really cool that I can sit here and sand it down and then touch it back up again. And then there was this spot here I didn't like. There you go, Lux. Put that idea on one of the groups and it'll probably be made in a week. I have noticed that some of these guys that do these 3D sculpts and stuff, I think they rush stuff out the door. Like, when there's like a hot new movie or there's a new comic book, or they kind of try to like, oh, I gotta get that character out right away. And then I think they rush it too much and it doesn't look right. I'm personally the type of person that if you're gonna do it, take your time, make it look right, and then, you'll get the sales. But if you try to rush it out the door just to be like the first guy to do it, I think that's when these sculpts sort of fall off. I know you want to get it out, you want to get that recognition and blah blah blah, but I don't know, I kind of like, I guess what I do is when I look through some sculpts, sometimes I'll see the sculpt, I'm like, nope, pass, instead of one that like grabs me and be like, oh man, that looks really good, they did that, like, you could tell some are just not there. Hey, what's up, JC? Yeah, it's like, I think this STL market's good, but I also think it's bad. Too much rushing of stuff. Not enough. Like if there was a Patreon group and the person would do one a month, just one, but it was really well done. It was like sideshow quality, and you know, it was like, oh my god, that's a really great sculpt. I would love to print it and customize it, or even have it on my shelf. I would join that group and I would pay monthly. But the other groups, I know it's cheaper to sign up with them, and then you get their sculpts. But honestly, like out of every monthly stuff I see updated, there's one item that I'm like, that's okay. But I would be like, I'll just rather buy it on like Cults or something if I want to do something. But I guess if you're in a hobby and you just like doing it on your own, and you want to paint every week and you want to print, and you got a full-time job and a family, that's different to sign up for those places. But for me, I don't know, I like the quality a little bit better. Yeah, you know, I would think some of these guys would, you know, do more of the fan base stuff. Like Jessica Rabbit's, you know, if they were to make a Jessica Rabbit like the Sideshow, like a nude version of her and a cloth version, she'll probably would sell nonstop, you know. I noticed they've done a lot of Velmas from Scooby-Doo. I'm seeing a lot of Spider-Man characters. Definitely people who do like movie stuff. So I don't know. It's I guess it all depends on what's voted, what they think people want. But I'm not in the group, so I'm not sure what the fans are and what, you know, what they want. So I'm just the outsider looking in just for customs and fun side projects and stuff. Is it Stuardo or Stuart? I don't know how you pronounce his name, but yeah, I actually I follow him on Instagram. He's got a couple that I'm actually interested in, but I haven't pulled the trigger or anything yet. Yeah, Wicked is starting to get a lot better now. I've noticed that too. Even my other friend says that Wicked is doing good because it's Wicked and Berserk. Right? They're both the same guys, but one's DC, one's Marvel. Yeah, he's doing. See, that's the thing is, I like his stuff, and he's doing some good quality, and that's what I want to see more of. Like I said, I see too many that I don't know if it's. I wouldn't say it's skill. I think it's more just rushing it out the door. Because I think a lot of the people that are sculpting have the skill. I just think they're rushing it, you know? I guess you could tell when they rush it, because if you look at their pages, the sculptors, you know, they got some really good sculpts, and then they got ones, so I guess it's like rushing it out the door, or maybe they weren't feeling the character. I really don't know, but I think is it Stuardo? Am I saying it right? I don't know. I don't know how I say it. Isn't he the one that did the Rogue, the 80s Rogue walking, or is that somebody else? Let me look it up. Hold on, let's see. Maybe it was somebody else. But let me what's it called? Oh yeah, it was probably somebody else. He did the Chung-Li, right? I got his Chung-Li. I got that file because I really want to do that Chung-Li for myself down the line. I really like that Chung-Li he did. Yeah, it's hard to keep up, man. There's so many items. Oh, let's see the one sculptor. This guy. Jan Sculpts. I like some of his stuff isn't bad. Yeah, Jan Sculpts. This is this one. So that Rogue, I really, really like that body and walk of her. I just don't like the head. So that Rogue is a really, really nice Rogue, and I like the body, and I'm got an idea of a custom I might want to use that for myself. I just don't like the head. That's one of those examples where it's a really cool item, but the head's not there. Where am I at with this? As far as the legs go. Yeah, the Spider-Woman is actually pretty good. A guy I know is actually really interested in, maybe he might want to do it, so I don't know yet if I'll be putting one of those together down the line. I also know, was it Wicked or was it I think it was Wicked did that Blink. That Blink was really good. I mean, pretty soon 3D sculpts are going to kill the whole entire license market. The way things are going. But then again, there's always going to be people that would want to just buy it and not print it or anything. Alright, we gotta hit this with some Testor's dull coat. Let me get these yeah, that blink is nice. I like that blink. No, companies would never sell STLs. Because if they were to sell STLs, they would kill their whole entire profit margin. You still got plenty of people out there who just want to go into a store or order online and be done. There's not a lot of people that are going to sit there and, you know, sit there and paint this stuff themselves and build it. Yeah, I'm at the point now where if I'm gonna do customs for fun, or people want me to customize something, if they send me the sideshow, cool. But there is people who are debating now on printing out an STL file and customizing it for what they want. So, and I haven't really had a lot of people. Well, I'm starting to slowly getting people asking me to paint STL files. So, I think within another year or two, it's going to kind of get to the point where I'm just doing STL stuff. Unless if I find a sideshow item, it's got to be just like, pay me shipping and you can have it, because it's really hard to, you know, pay $700 for an item and customize it unless somebody wants me to do it. So side items going forward for me will be STL file customs, or damaged items that somebody just says, hey, pay me $50 to ship it to you and I'll send it to you. That's kind of where I'm at. But even like these Jessica Rabbit customs, you know, this is something I'm looking more, you know, forward to more and more. It's like, and there's also a lot of STL files too I look at that would be a good printout. It just needs maybe tweak this or tweak that and it'll look cool, you know, like you could change some things here and there. So see, I feel that Sideshow Anatomy is on point. Sideshow Anatomy stuff is always on point. The bodies are amazing, the muscle structure, they know the anatomy. The heads are good too, but sometimes when I get an item, I don't get the head because it's broken or lost or whatever. So I look to STL files to get a new head, because not all Sideshow heads are going to work with the item. But yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. It's STLs, they're the future. No, I don't think they'll risk the whole kit market, because honestly, how much are they going to be able to sell kits for? You know, I think Prototype Z with Eric Sosa, when he was doing the kits, I think he ran into the issue where, like, the profit margin and the amount of work isn't there. I mean, look at all those Facebook groups that do unpainted kits. You know, how many people that follow Sideshow are going to paint the kit and put it together, and also commission somebody versus just buying a pre-painted item, you know? Like, it's a very small market, believe it or not. For all those Facebook guys that actually buy unpainted kits, how many of them are painting themselves versus actually sending them out to a person? So say they do 30 or 40 kits, how many of those are being painted by the people who bought it versus sending it to somebody to paint? And then how many of those people have those unpainted kits in their garages or attics that haven't even done anything to them yet? So, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of how I see it. Maybe I'm wrong, but... I think what's going to happen is at some point, Sideshow is just going to be like, all right, we're done. We can't compete with the STL market anymore, you know. And then I think it'll just be people doing STLs all the time. Could be wrong. We could go, or you never know, maybe the companies will start cracking down on Facebook and all these companies printing these out and all these Patreon groups, and there could be a wave of just like a shitstorm, you know, who knows. Yeah, but you know, I don't know. I think a lot of the, I don't know. It's hard to say. They would have to. But then again, you know, now that I think about it, what if these companies are watching Patreon and they're building a case? You know, I mean, don't forget, all this stuff is unlicensed. You know, we could have the hammer drop down someday. So didn't they go after Patreon, or was that Kickstarter? I thought it was Patreon with licensed stuff. Maybe it was a different site. I don't know. Man, can you imagine the hammer came down, now that I think about it more, if, you know, these companies wanted to go after everybody? It's kind of weird, man. Back in like 2006 to 2008, they would send out cease and desist letters for kits, and now look what's going on. Oh, really? You got that? Yeah, I remember when they started too. But then again, you got to start somewhere, right? I was late to the game with Sideshow. I never even heard of them until I went to the Jersey Fest show. And then, or no, was it Dave's house with the Jersey Fest? Or no, I think I learned about more of Sideshow when I went there, but I remember they were the new kid on the block though at one point, and it was around the time everybody was like, "Oh, Bowen Designs is better, Sideshow sucks, blah blah blah." You know, it's the whole Bowen versus Sideshow fiasco. The good old days. Leave them on, that stuff stinks. Alright, let's go over here. Alright. A lot of chest on this one. A lot of chest. So where is my? Let's get some of our blush. I like to have shadow under there. It's like a forced shadow, but I kind of like doing that. So makes it pop a little bit more. Pretty happy with the skin. Some areas I'm gonna have to touch up. I'm kind of starting to just see like skin tone everywhere now, so I'm not really seeing errors or where I need to clean up. So I need to kind of take a step back for tonight. But of course we need to seal it. But I think we could do the eyeshadow real quick. Plus my back is starting to tell me to go relax for a bit, standing all day on this stuff. Also, my Mary Jane is almost finished, so I'm hoping I can have her done next week. I gotta finish editing the video, at least start editing it on Sunday, so that's good. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this stuff dry for the. Usually I would let it dry for a day and work on it the next day, but we'll let this stuff dry so this way next week we can start detailing up, and I should have the nun ready for skin tone next week too. And then once all the skin's done, we can really start just dicking around on all the damn outfits. Nun is the one that's going to be a little bit trickier because I need to keep the latex smooth. So, what am I looking for? Oh, a couple drops of water and the purple. Where's my purple? Where's my purple? Oh, are you guys going to see Snow White? Am I keeping you guys from seeing an amazing movie? I'm sorry, I had to bring it up. I was just kind of curious if you guys were going out to see it tonight. After all the all the shitstorm that actress did. I'll have to laugh. I'm honored you guys are sitting here watching me instead of rushing out to see it. Because according to the journalists, it's the best movie ever. Oh man, I swear to God, actors and actresses just don't know when to shut up anymore. Shut up, make your money. Stop shitting on the fans. Did it cost like what, 500 million to make or something, or 600 million? I don't know. How much did it cost to make that movie? And then if I'm not mistaken, isn't all the media saying that Gal Gadot's performance was horrible now? Or something? Like, I know I saw a video this morning and some, of course, you know, it's, dude, I don't know, all these damn shills for Disney or whatever. A couple of them were saying that Gal Gadot's performance was horrible and the other girls was amazing. And it's the best movie ever, so I don't know. I don't know. Personally, I feel that the original cartoon was absolutely amazing because it was traditional animation. It took artists to do it, and the amount of work put into it was absolutely phenomenal. I don't really care about the story, but as far as an artist perspective, you just can't really top it, you know? But that is current day Disney, right? Let's remake everything and make it worse. Yeah, I'm curious to see how much money they lose. You know, that's the other thing. I was watching a video. What was it? Clownfish TV, I think it was. They explained that if the Snow White movie makes like $200 million, everyone's going to say, oh, they made $200 million. But the truth is they didn't make $200 million. You have to pay the movie theaters. You know, there's promotional. So a lot of people forget that there's more involved than just what they make. You got to take out all that extra, you know, stuff. And I was like, yep, that's true. Oh yeah, they're already saying that, Raccoon. I can't wait for who's the guy? That guy on YouTube, Grizzy, that does the shill videos. I can't wait to see all the shill compilation of people saying that it's the best movie ever. Because they're the same people that said Star Wars were the best movies of all time, you know? Yeah, if you don't like video games, comics, movies, you're everything in the book. Oh, what's the big thing now too? Isn't it isn't now like everybody putting their asses on Telsas now? It's like every week there's something new. So I guess the Snow White's gonna be this weekend, while this beginning of this week was everybody. Oh yeah, people were putting their asses on Telsas. So now we'll see what happens next week. Oh really? Oh, so it's Mr. Grizzy? Okay. His videos are a riot. It's so funny. Like, I mean, you gotta just be honest with yourself. If it's a bad movie, it's a bad movie. But whatever. You can't fault them. They gotta make their money. And if Disney's gonna give them some money, they can say, you know, gotta give them credit. Okay, so somewhat of the hardest stuff is done so far. So we got 2 skin tones down. Yeah, that's the problem. Even though when he cuts down their videos, you're still listening to them, and they're kind of there. So, oh well. Still funny stuff. What can I say? Oh, I gotta stretch the back. Ah, there we go. It's gonna be an interesting weekend. See what the numbers are for Snow White. I don't understand when Disney stopped doing animation and went toward live action stuff. Like, I love the art, the old art. Does even Pixar even do anything anymore? I don't even know. I don't pay attention. I just live on YouTube and listen to music. Yeah, growing up, I used to love the cell animation and how they used to, they used to do the cell animation and, flip the transparency over and draw the next, piece, and it's just a lost art. It really is. Yeah, it's all. Didn't they also have to bring all the old artists back for like a animated movie that they had to change or something? I thought they had to change something. Yeah, the live action stuff to me is crap. It really is. I mean, it's just lazy 3D, rendering animated stuff. I understand that's
it's cheaper to make, but I love like makeup an AI program or come up with some kind of easier way to do traditional animation but easier, you know? I love traditional animation. I love the old Street Fighter games where you had one sprite, then the next sprite, then the next sprite. Same thing with Disney. You had all these animated. It's a lost art. Once all those old timers are gone, the young generation will never know how to do that. All going to hell. Alright, I think I am tapped out for today. Was standing for a few hours like that. I need to do a walk tomorrow, stretch out the back. But alright, so that's what we got so far. What do you guys think? We heading in the right direction? Older anime called Redline. I'll have to look into it. I will have to check it out. Yeah, hopefully AI I can do. Sadly, I know people hate me saying this, but hopefully I can have AI and type in a prompt and have my own animated movie come up. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. I still like the Star Trek one a lot so far. Still like that one the most. But so what I'm gonna do is I have to prime up the Nun. Well, with primer sealer, I'll kind of explain it now. So at least give you guys an idea by the time I come back. So the Nun, I got her all sanded up. I got her all smoothed out. I just got to work on the arms a little bit more. But I'm going to do primer sealer. And that's going to give her a nicer smooth. Even though she's smooth right now, this will give it a nice good protected coat. Only because if I do the enamels and some resin showing, sometimes that lacquer enamel starts to spread off. But if I have a nice good coat of primer sealer, it'll kind of bond better. So what I'm going to do is, when I do her skin, it's going to take a little bit longer because I'm going to mask off this body part here. I'm not going to mask off the underwear because that's going to be too difficult. But I'm going to mask off this and I'm going to mask off her legs. Because when I go do the latex on it, if I have the skin there, it doesn't get as smooth, and I got enough play here to do it with this one. So it's gonna be more of a tedious one to get this nice and shiny. But the arms will be easier because they'll be separated, so I don't have to worry about the arms. So that's kind of where I'm at with this one. But yeah, so if I could just mask off the main body there, and I can mask off this part here and just do the skin. Because this is all the skin I have. It's just her face, her chest, and here. The arms are latex, so it's easier to sort of mask it. So if you saw that Jessie from Pokemon I did the same thing. And that's how I got it really, really shiny, so that's kind of where I'm at with it. I just got to order the paints for the base, but we got plenty of time before we do that. And then, let's see. So she's gonna have, whatchamacallit? Oh my god, I'm so fried today. The leggings, the stockings, or whatever the hell it is. So, I'm gonna do that. She's gonna have silky short, skirt. But this is going to be like the blue. It's going to be like the bright blue, so it's going to be like separated. Did I finish the skin? Yeah, I have to still seal it. And I have to sort of just walk away because I think I might want to come back and redo some stuff. But that's kind of where the process is. And then after the skin's sealed, it's just little things here and there. You know, black shoes, shiny, silky skirt, the belt, black belt, bright blue hat and shirt, white gloves. The hairs are all try to be the same. You know, like that orangey hair. This is going to be like as close as I can get it to her like main outfit. Black boots. So that's kind of, you know, and then we got to do Roger, so I could probably start working on Roger too. If for any reason I think I want to really bang these out faster, I might try to do some either Picardo stream, I'll let you guys know, or pop out at night and work on it. John, these are 3D prints, but I customized them. But yeah, so this once I get her skin done and I get her black latex on, it's just a matter of all the little stuff here and there. So it's a little bit of masking and trim, painting little stuff here and there. So we're getting there. I think I can start Roger 2 next week as well. Oh no, this is these are new Jessica Rabbit statues, and from ES Monster, and then I customized Star Trek, Police Officer, and Nun, so they look smooth because I've been sanding and sculpting and sanding and sculpting. So, if you're saying because there's no 3D print lines or anything, that's because that was all taken out. But if you like the sculpt, ES Monster is the one who sculpted. Oh, that's right. Raz printed them. I forgot he did. Yeah, the new printers are getting better and better, so... But Raz did fine with them. Raz's printer didn't have any issues, really. Just on the head, but that was because of, I guess, the weight limit you said or something. But, yeah, other than that, they were fine. Alright, I think that's where I'm done for the week. So, I'll let you guys know if I decided to start doing some Picardo streams on these during the week. But I'll let you know next stream on Friday, or if I do any night streams. But that's kind of where we're at. But I am shutting it down. I need a break. So you guys have a good rest of your weekend and enjoy Snow White if you go see it.